everybody, this is Tim W. Leathertachi 1996, and welcome to our next episode of Godzilla Effects. And this week we have Godzilla vs. Space-Godzilla from the year 1994. Now, well, once again here, I have not talked about the poster in a while. Once again, like with, I believe it was King Ghidorah, I got a poster with no words on it or nothing. I just got this, the textless poster. Yeah, every other poster was tiny, so sorry, I couldn't get the one that actually had the text on it. And as you can tell by this poster, there are 5 monsters in this movie, other than the 2 title characters, Godzilla and Space Godzilla. And then also in the foreground you have Little Godzilla, and apparently it's the same baby from last week's movie, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. And I gotta tell you, he had a complete design change. He had a huge design change. And then look on Space Godzilla where his shoulder and chest are. Do you see like there's Mothra there? Well, there's a little more on that in a little bit actually. On why Mothra is even shown on the poster in the first place. She is in the movie, don't get me wrong, but not as you might think. And then look over, if you look in the foreground under Little Godzilla's leg, there is a baseball stadium that would later be used 1 year later in the reboot of the Gamera films, even though there's not a single scene in this movie that takes place at that baseball stadium. I don't know why that's even on the poster. And then look who else we have. Once again, we have a giant robot in this movie, and this thing is Mogera. A little more on him I only found like one screenshot of him, sadly. Like there's only one HD screenshot I was able to find of him. But in all honesty, I really do like this poster. It really looks very cosmic and very sci-fi, which is what the whole movie tries to go for. The whole hour and 45-minute movie. I mean, I really did enjoy this Godzilla movie, but sadly, you would never think, folks, you'd never think that I'd find 8 effects cons with any of the Heisei era Godzilla films, but I did. A total of 8 effects cons with this movie. That's a lot. That's a record, actually. Oh, and here we go. This is at the very start of the film. This is right where they introduce Mogera, like right at the start of the movie. And the cool thing is, the reason why I love this robot is actually because Mogera was first introduced in, I want to say 1956, with this Toho science fiction movie called The Mysterians, and you had Mogera just walking around destroying stuff, shooting stuff. I think it was like the Mysterians weapon or something like that. And here in 1994 Toho brought Mogera back, the new origin story, and putting it with Godzilla. And I really love this. You see some great miniature effects work, very well detailed actually. And the thing I really like about Mogera here is it transforms. It literally is like it's like a Godzilla's equivalent to a Transformer. It splits into 2 other vehicles. One is called simply just Land Mogera, which is the screenshot seen here. And what's so funny is this is actually his torso. This is the upper part of him, and his legs is from the waist down is this thing called the Star Falcon. Such an American name in a Japanese film. Oh my god, trust me, I didn't see it coming either. And the Star Falcon is an aircraft, and then as you can see by Land Mogera here, there is like wheels on the bottom of it, like a tank. And the robot itself, when it gets that screenshot, that's going to be way later in this video, the suit is very well detailed, and it really looks like it's made out of metal. It's just so interesting that this thing is like it's like a robotic megalon with a drill for a face. Yeah, we'll just wait until we get to the screenshot of Mogera like together, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But like I said with this screenshot here, this is like I said, this is at the very start of the movie, and also the great miniature effects work. Like they really just showed off. They just like, oh yeah, check this out, like right at the start of the movie, and I really like that with some interesting music score by, I think it was Kiri Fukube that did the music for this. So yeah, really not much I can say. Just very well detailed miniatures with this screenshot here. So hey, how's everyone else doing tonight? And here we go. This is little Godzilla, as they call him now. If you notice, look at his eyes. I'm not counting this as an effects con, not at all. I'm not counting this as an effects con, but actually no, there is an effects con with Little Godzilla. Actually, there's two effects cons with Little G. Actually, there was this point. I know we're not at that screenshot yet, but there's a point in this movie when SPACE-GODZILLA officially, when he comes down to Earth, he kidnaps Little G here and traps him in this little crystal prison. And what do you call? There's a point when he's being lowered. You can see the wire that was holding Little G here, that was lowering him into the crystals. Like you can actually see the wire that was holding him. And also, there's this one other bit where it's a really quick shot, but if you pause the movie, you can see it. There is a little device inside of Little G's mouth. I guess it's like the apparatus to make the mouth move. Had to have been. It's a very, I don't know, the suit itself, it's like, okay, it's a baby, it's supposed to look cute, and it's not supposed to be detailed. I mean, he just looks like a cute, like, little kawaii green dinosaur, like from a cartoon or something. He looks a little cartoony in this movie. But he just like a little chubby kid. He kind of reminds me of me. He doesn't exactly remind me of Minya. He just looks like a little chubby kid. I mean, seriously, but the miniature, I mean, you can tell this was green screen. I mean, if this was not green screen, then holy crap, they did a good job, but I doubt it was not. I bet you this was green screen. So it's like, I don't know, it's just, it was just so weird, like, pausing it, and you can see, like, this little device or something in Little G's mouth at one point. It's really quick, but you could kind of see. It's like you can just see it if you pause the movie. You're like, oh my god. And like I said, it's the apparatus that was probably controlling his mouth. That was probably controlling Little G's mouth. And I don't know if anyone caught this, but does anyone notice that his eyes are in two different directions? Like, one's like looking down and the other one's looking straight ahead at the camera. Like, seriously, I didn't notice that until just now. Literally, because in the movie I didn't catch it. And his roar is like this little squeaky roar. Like, it don't even sound like Godzilla. The other one sound like, when this character was introduced back, let me talk about ugly guy here in a minute. Let me talk about big, dark, and ugly here in a second. With Little G, it's like, his roar, like in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, his roar sounded like Godzilla's roar, but in this movie, it's like he just has this little squeaky roar. It's really odd. And here we go. Here is SPACE-GODZILLA. Like, seriously, here is SPACE-GODZILLA right here. And this was during, I didn't mention this with Mogera, and I should have. I literally forgot I wrote it down. The first battle that SPACE-GODZILLA has is not with Godzilla, but with Mogera out in space. And they fight in the asteroid belt that actually does surround our solar system. And the asteroid belt just, like, I don't know how they did this, but they could have done so much better. They could have done so much better. It looks very 1970s-ish. Oh my god, it literally, they could have done so much better with the miniature set where they had, yeah, the asteroid belt. Either they could have done it not in the asteroid belt or like in outer space or something. They just did not need to do the asteroid belt. They just could have done it so much better. And there's another thing. I can't believe I said this. I probably said this a few seconds ago. There is a point where where Mogera, when he flies, when he's flying in space, trying to ram Space G, you can actually see the wires holding him up. No joke, you can actually see the wires that were holding up Mogera for a second. It just looks so weird. And actually, I actually do have one effects con with SPACE-GODZILLA here. There's only one. I know I talk about each screenshot here as I go along, but there wasn't very many screenshots I can find of the monsters. So yeah, sorry folks, I'm just gonna mention this now. There is a point during the very final battle where you had Godzilla, SPACE-GODZILLA, and Mogera all just doing this three-way monster mash in the city of Fukuoka. And actually, before I get to the con with SPACE-GODZILLA, let's talk about excuse me. Let's talk about all the pros with him. Number one, his design. I love his design. It's so evil. Like, it's such an evil look for him. Like, seriously, the look of SPACE-GODZILLA has just this nasty. Well, okay, wait until I get to the thing of SPACE-GODZILLA. I mean, literally. Well, here's Godzilla, actually. Well, here's the king of the monsters himself, and literally, I mean, the suit. It's the same suit as the last like 4 movies, and it's like literally, I mean, the CGI for his atomic breath, it's still the same. Like, everything about Godzilla is the same as the last couple movies. So it's like, you know, design-wise, I mean, I do, like I said a couple other times, I think in last week's video and video before that, I love this look. It has a lot of good detailing on him and everything. And what's so funny is, actually, there's 2 cons that Godzilla actually has in this movie. There's one point when he heads toward Fukuoka during the final battle, when he's walking towards it. There's a point where his tail falls off. It's the tip of his tail, literally the tip of his tail comes flying off, and actually, it happens twice. Like, it happens right at the very end of the movie. And I don't know if they caught that. I don't know if Toho caught that when they were doing it, but yeah, his tail literally, the tip of his tail comes flying off, and it manages to stay on with just this little thread, little bit of the material, and it's like it's just the tip of the tail's just hanging on. And the other weird thing that I gotta say is when he comes ashore on the island, when he first shows up in the movie, well, actually it's the second time, because he shows up like right before the title, and quite literally it's like there's this weird thing that happens behind his tail where something is ripped or something behind his leg, behind his right leg there. The leg, well, in this screenshot it's the leg that's more forward. I don't know, it's like there's just this thing that was like ripped or something behind him, behind his ankle or whatever, and it just looked really weird. I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was his tail or something, but it just looked really, really weird. It looked, I don't know. It could have been his tail. It could have been the ripped tail part or something. I don't know. But it was just like, you'd have to really, really pause the movie and notice it. But yeah, I mean, the miniature sets that, like I said, the miniature sets in this movie, they get better with each movie. Truly, they do. And the effects are getting a hell of a lot better. The shots where Godzilla he's destroying the city on his way to the final battle, because it's Godzilla, why wouldn't he? And I love the fact that you have, like, they do this. Oh, here's a close up of Space Godzilla. Before I finish Godzilla, let me finish what I was saying about Space G. Look at that face. Seriously, like, Space Godzilla has this whole thing with crystals, and he gets his power from the crystals or whatever. It's kind of interesting, actually. And they have two explanations of where Ugly comes from. They said that it was either when Mothra flew out into outer space or when Biollante went out into outer space. They said that the G cells that came off of Godzilla from either Biollante, since she was technically a clone, and then Mothra was swallowed by a black hole or whatever and was exposed to cosmic radiation from stars blowing up. Like, seriously, they literally give two explanations for this movie, whether it's Mothra that sent the G cells in outer space or it was Biollante. Personally, I favor Biollante. Personally, I would say Biollante, but the fact that she was mixed with a plant, I can't really say that. I really agree with the Mothra theory more, in all personal, to me personally. And I love Space Godzilla's design. He looks so evil. The red eyes make him look really, oh my god, the red eyes make him look really evil. Seriously, like, they did a really, but the thing is as cool as the design looks, the I don't know who played in the suit, but the suit looks really bulky to move around, especially like the two big crystals on his shoulders. The suit was just really bulky, and Space Godzilla, when he fights, he mainly shoots at everybody because hand-to-hand combat he's not really good at. For as powerful as he is, he can make a shield and block Godzilla's atomic breath. The crystal shield comes up, and he literally, it's like he's like Super Godzilla, I guess. But there is, like, what was it? My one con that I have with him is during the final battle. There is a point where Godzilla knocks him down, and Space Godzilla gets back up. The way they do it is like, does he use his... I just don't like the way they did it. He could have just used his feet or something, but no, he literally slides back up. He just gets back up like, oh, did he use his tail to do it? Or what? It just looks... When he gets back on his feet, it looks really, really weird. It looks super weird, but other than that one little tidbit, that's the only con that I have with Space Godzilla. Literally, him getting back on his feet during the very final battle. That's like literally about 12 minutes long. It's insane. Yeah, the detailing on the suit looks really good, and I love, like, they tried to still make it look like Godzilla. Like I said, this is like Super Godzilla, like a really evil, pissed off Godzilla. Seriously. Oh my god, this is my last effects con with this movie, right here. They do this whole thing where Miki Sagusa, played by Megumi Odaka again. She's still with the franchise, folks. Everybody, well, of course, a lot of you fans probably know that by now. My last effects con is with Fairy Mothra here, because quite literally, there's this weird thing where the Mothra twins come back and they warn Miki that Space Godzilla was coming to Earth and was going to kill Godzilla and wipe out the Earth and everything. And there's some points where Fairy Mothra just shows up out of nowhere and gives her, like, helpful hints or whatever. It's really weird. But me personally, if they would have just made it all CG, it would have looked better. Like, it was a puppet that they just dressed it up with CGI, and in all perfect honesty, it looks weird as a puppet. It looks really weird. Like, if the whole thing was just completely CG, then it probably would have looked better, in all honesty, because the way the thing's little wings move, believe me, it's cute. Fairy Mothra is a really cute little kaiju. It's a really cute little monster. I get it, but it's just the execution was just like the wings, the way they move when they're flapping. It's like, it looks too much like a puppet. Like, seriously, it looks a little too puppetish. And like I said, if they would have made her completely CG, it would have moved a lot smoother. Would have moved a lot more smoothly. Yeah, literally, that's all 8 effects cons that I have with this movie. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna find that many effects cons, but that's the whole point of me binging on the Godzilla films, so I can do these effects reviews. Anyhow, but the sunset shot is really good. It's a really great shot. The sunset when Mickey's talking to the character named Shinjo. But we're not talking about the plot for this movie. Talking about the effects. And one thing I do have to say about the special effects in this movie is when Godzilla and Space Godzilla and Mothra, when they shoot at each other, the CGI, it's still the same bit of CG from the last few movies. It's 90s CG. You know, it's, what do you call? It's mainly just I don't know. Like, I can't really say hardly anything about the CGI. It's typical 90s CG. But oh, here's another great shot of Space Godzilla. Yeah, this is insane. When the way Space Godzilla, you see all those crystals that are jutting out of the ground? It's so weird. Like, he can shoot stars out of his body when he flies. He can shoot stars out of his back or whatever, and that makes all the crystals come up. Like, seriously, he makes all the crystals jut up out of the ground, and I don't know, the miniature set, I mean, here's some good compositing. Like, you have the miniature set of the Fukuoka Tower in the background and Space Godzilla standing among the crystals, and then in the foreground you got, like, a shot of real people running away, and it blends really well. The compositing shots with the monsters and the people, they blend super good. And what's so funny is the whole thing with Space Godzilla, this is his fortress. Like, he literally makes a fortress. He makes this fortress of these giant crystals, and he has some crazy ass abilities. He has the power. There's a point during the final battle where he literally sits down. He literally sits down. I'm not kidding. Sits down, lifts up the crystals out of the ground and uses them as projectiles and fires them right at Godzilla during the final fight. And then there's another point where he lifts Godzilla up, literally levitates him, and then throws him into a building. Like, seriously, Space Godzilla is pretty tough. Like, for a monster that is not good at hand-to-hand combat, he has like these villainy cheat moves that make him a really tough opponent. And I don't know, just everything about Space Godzilla, except for like the one effects con with how he even gets back up on his feet. You know, I really, really love this monster. Truly, it's a really great monster for Godzilla to take on. And it's just so crazy. Like, the tower, the way they explain it is there's only like a couple of bits of dialogue in the whole movie about it. They explain that Space Godzilla draws energy from the tower, and when the energy flows through the crystals, and that's how Space Godzilla gets his power-ups literally he gets power-ups every 5 seconds. Like, not every 5 seconds, that was an exaggeration, but he gets power-ups like throughout the whole time he's in the city here. And he gets all these energy flows from the crystals, and he tries to get stronger, but then Godzilla just burns his ass. Like, seriously, Godzilla literally just burns him. And once again, Godzilla does the crazy thing where his atomic breath goes from blue to red. Oh, and here's Mothra right here. More on Godzilla at the last screenshot after this. What do you call? See, like I was saying, here's Mothra. I do love the design, actually. It's like, I'm a robot fan. I love robots in movies, you know, movies like Universal Soldiers. Not the Van Damme franchise. I'm talking about the other Universal Soldiers from the Asylum. And there's this giant Terminator-looking robot. That's just about the end of that movie. And also, I love, like, the Transmorphers. I love those. And then you got the robots from Kill Command. Such a big movie robot fan, and Mothra is no different. And it's just so funny, like, he has And Moguera has a whole assortment of weapons. He's got lasers out of his eyes, and then he's got like lasers out of his hand, out of his cone-shaped hands, and those can open up, and spiral grenade missiles come out of them. And then you've got a laser, a big overpowered laser that shoots out of like this satellite dish that comes out of his torso there. I mean, when it comes to, you know, just like Mechagodzilla, Moguera's got an assortment of weapons. He's just a walking armory. And it's just so funny, like Moguera, I really don't have the only effects con I have of him is when he, like I said a while back, when he fights Space Godzilla, you can see the wires holding him up. Like seriously, it only happens like I think one time. I think like at least once, and it's very it's not like it doesn't go. It's only in one shot, so it's not really that bad. But Moguera I mean, he has legs, but he has legs, but it's just so weird that he mainly flies or wheels himself around. He's got like wheels on his feet or whatever. And he doesn't walk. He only takes like 2 steps, and they're backwards like during the whole time. And it's like, oh, he can walk. Okay, but most of the time he either rides around with the wheels on his feet, like I said, or he flies. One of those two. Like, he only walks backwards like one time. But yeah, I love the design. I just like movie robots. I'm sorry. Like, Moguera is no different. I love like advanced looking pieces of machinery. When it comes to movies, I'm just a huge robot fan, and it's just so weird that they built this right after they even say at the beginning, "Oh, the ultimate counter Godzilla weapon." Yeah, didn't you not learn from what happened a year ago? Like seriously, did you not learn what happened a year ago when Godzilla basically melted Mechagodzilla and turned him into a junkyard? Oh, here's a nice evil shot of Space Godzilla right here. Like seriously, it's like in the daylight his color is like blue or something like that, but at night his color's black. And if they would have just made Space Godzilla's color completely black, then it probably would have been like much better. In all honesty, like I love everything about Space G. He was a really cool monster, very tough opponent for the big guy to fight. And the thing with crystals is very I don't know, it's an interesting idea. Truly, it's just an interesting idea, and I just love now we're moving away from Toho reinventing their monsters again like they did with King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Mechagodzilla, and now they added a new monster. I mean, we've seen new monsters throughout the Heisei era. We've seen new ones, but it's like mainly it's like with the whole movie, you know, with a new monster, and it just looks really cool. And the miniature set looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they put a lot of time and effort into this movie, despite the 8 effects cons. You know, it's like despite those, they put a lot of time and effort into this movie, and I really enjoyed it. I'm actually no, I'll say that when I get back to the poster, like always. But Space Godzilla's roar, though, Space Godzilla's roar, you know, I can't really say nothing about it because it sounds alien. Like Space Godzilla's supposed to be an alien, and his roar to his design, everything about him and his abilities, you know, everything about him's alien. And I so love though when his atomic breath actually curves. It's like this whip or something. It curves when he shoots at Godzilla. It's insane. When he shoots at little Godzilla and Moguera, it curves. It does this weird curving spot. You'd have to watch the movie really to know what I'm talking about. It sucks I couldn't get a screenshot of Space G's atomic breath. It's red and orange, but it looks really cool. Like, it's super cool, and everything about this movie, like the explosions are aplenty. Just explosions, more explosions. And with that, like I said, with the exception of my 8 effects cons, this was a really great Godzilla movie. Truly. I mean, with the human characters, I mean, I know I don't focus on the human characters much in this series, but the human characters, like, they go through some interesting things, like G-Force fights against the Japanese mafia, because throughout this whole movie, I can't believe I didn't mention this at the very start of this video. Apparently, they have and it concerns Big Guy here. I like his eyes. I really love this close-up of Godzilla. Like, you see the double row of teeth, and he's got these... I love his eyes. His eyes look super... I love the color in his eyes. Like, they look really good. And I can't believe I didn't say this at the start of this video. Concerning Godzilla, there's Project Mogera, which was supposed to kill him, but the government actually came up with the idea before wanting to kill Godzilla. Finally, they came up with the idea to control him. Like, they actually tried to come up with the idea to use this Project T, or Project Telepathy, and they try to use Miki Sagusa to basically send telepathic energy towards Godzilla and make him do what they want. And they wanted to, like, basically save the world with having Godzilla as a weapon. It was a good attempt. It works. It actually works. Don't get me wrong, it really works. But I guess the telepathic energy Godzilla has is too much for Miki Sagusa because it fails twice. And it's just so funny, like, the telepathy transmitter is on the back of Godzilla's head the whole movie until, like, towards the end when Mickey makes it fall off. And it's like, oh, okay. And also, one thing they do develop in this movie, they try to give Godzilla some character build-up. I like that. I really do, because when Mickey makes the transmitter fall off the back of his head, he turns around, and it's assumed he's looking at her when he's walking away. And the ending to this movie, this is the best ending I've ever seen to a Godzilla movie. So, the second best ending, sorry. Where they play the song Echoes of Love to a slow-mo of Godzilla walking in the sunrise in the ocean. It's a great ending. I mean, seriously, I love the way it was done. Like the slow-mo with him walking past the sun out towards the ocean. It is insanely well done. And overall, Godzilla vs. Well, I'll wait till I get back to the poster, which I'm going to here in a little bit, actually. I don't know, just and here, like I said, it's the same look of Godzilla that we've seen the last three films. So nothing really new here. Yeah. Again, Godzilla looks like a cat. Look at his mouth and his nose. Oh my god. Oh my god, his nose looks like a gorilla. He's got gorilla nose. Look at that. That's a gorilla nose. Look at that. Look at his nose. Okay, let me get back to the poster. Yeah, I went silent. Let me get back to the poster. Overall, Godzilla vs. SPACE-GODZILLA. I would recommend this to mainly die-hard Godzilla fans. Mainly die-hard Godzilla fans I'd recommend this movie to. And for my score of this movie, despite the 8 effects cons that I found, I'm giving this movie I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10. I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10. It was a great movie. The effects were really good. The effects were great. The miniatures were great. The suits were really well made. But my 8 effects cons is the effects cons with this film, all 8 of them, is kind of well, like, takes you out of the movie for a sec. So yeah, this movie gets a 7.5 out of 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Tune in next week when I do the last Godzilla movie here. Yep, after this, after the next one, I'm gonna stop this series completely. So please subscribe to Megas Dragon. He's the one that did the video. He did the logo for this. He did the logo. Link to his channel and movie reviews library will be in the description below. So this is Tim W. Love Touch 1996. Peace out, everybody.